I'm Tabitha Rock.
And I'm Sam Davenport.
Born and bred in Melbourne, we live and breathe property, and we know the Melbourne market like the back of our hand. We've both been buying and selling real estate in Metro Melbourne for over 2 decades combined, and we've learned a few lessons along the way.
We are back with the Property Culture Podcast with another tantalising episode.
That sounded facetious.
Well, this one is actually really interesting because it's obviously it's a topic that was hot during COVID times, but it's coming back with a vengeance at the moment as the market heats up and as interstate investors are flooding back to the Melbourne market, we're seeing it come up again.
Buying sight unseen.
Buying
Wild.
a property, buying a physical property without seeing it. That's what that means.
Or having someone that represents you see it. Like, I know of plenty of people that have bought interstate and they haven't physically seen the property themselves, but they've had a representative see that property and physically inspect it.
Yeah, like we obviously have investors who will engage us to buy property on their behalf. Or, I mean, owner-occupiers, this has never happened, but we do have investors who will buy property with us and they haven't seen it. Obviously, we've seen it, but not only have we seen it, but we've taken a video, obviously, of the property showing quite a bit of detail, particularly if there's any defects in there. And on top of that, we're also getting a building and pest inspection report, which has got about 1,000 photos in it and detailed, thoughts on pointing out major, minor defects from that professional. So you've now got 2 professionals who've inspected it on your behalf. But we've got property being sold without either happening.
Yeah. Well, actually, there was an interesting article in the ABC a couple of months ago where someone had actually employed an advocate to buy. That advocate bought sight unseen, like they didn't inspect it, but they just relied on the building and pest inspection report. And, there was heaps of things that weren't flagged. And because I think from memory the agent had done a walkthrough video, but like that's just not good enough. Like that agent is there to sell the property and highlight only its good features. They are not there to nitpick it and make sure that every defect is pointed out.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem with just going off what the agent's video is, or even, during COVID, remember it was vendors doing the walkthrough video.
I mean, the level of desperation that people must be feeling to make that decision is a little bit beyond me. I don't really know what is happening in the mindset, but we during COVID just paused our business. We just took the time to focus on working on other things, branding, for example. But we were not engaging with the madness. And I think, thank God we didn't. I mean, look at how badly it can go wrong, and overpaying for property that you really don't understand where the current condition is sitting. You have no concept of what it's really looking like.
But not only that, we often say to clients, we say no to 90% of the properties, the 10% that we do inspect, we're 90% confident, but there's oftentimes we will be at that property and be like, no, this is a deal breaker. That is a deal breaker. It's things also in the surrounding area, not just the property in particular. It can be a electrical pole we didn't know about, or, really messy neighbours that look, like the sort of neighbours you don't really want to hang around and that will put off prospective tenants when you're going to lease out that property. So I just think you get this extra feel, protection, confidence in the property when you do a physical walkthrough.
Yeah.
And we've walked through thousands and thousands of properties, so we know the sort of things to look out for. But you just, I think we're going to pepper this throughout the podcast, but the key takeaway is don't buy property unseen. It should be a bit of a no-brainer, and we're just going to run through all the pitfalls and why it makes such a difference.
You're not buying a handbag online,
Well, and even that, I've done a lot of online purchases that haven't gone well.
You can return it, You can return it. But you're buying a house sight unseen, mate. You've signed that contract, it's unconditional. I think it's the biggest thing for me at the moment that I'm seeing is that not only are they buying them without seeing them, but then they're buying them unconditionally. And it's just, where's the protection?
You mean
client.
not subject to finance or building and pest inspection?
Exactly. So no clauses in place to pause the process, to reconsider, let's double check, let's run the due diligence, let's make sure this is right. There's no moment of that. It's, done, moving on.
Yeah.
It's very transactional.
I mean,
the only person that's benefiting, I'm sure, is the seller's agent and the vendor, of course, and the buyer's agent. But I just think, it's
fraught with danger. I think though it comes, from this frenzy of fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Because that's the same feeling that it was in COVID.
Yeah.
And I just think, you need to be sensible with these decisions. I was at an auction a couple of weeks ago for a local investor actually who hadn't seen the property. And we're at the auction and he's just giving me like tens of thousands of dollars more. And I was like, stop, we are going to find a better property. Like it's going to be okay. But in the Melbourne market at the moment, there is that stress, I feel like. And that leads people to make poor decisions and quick decisions when you're spending, sometimes multi-millions.
Well, exactly. Yeah. And it's, I don't think that it will be, but it could just be a little fluctuation. And now you've sort of spent maybe too much on something that has just fluctuated back to where it was 3 months ago. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely the FOMO, the fear of missing out for people in a hot market because it's moving week to week. It's changing, and what you could have purchased, a month ago or 2 months ago for X amount is now X amount, and that compounds the fear. And it just gets them really hyped. But I mean, I think that agents are really capitalising on this feeling with their off-market sales that they're doing. Like they're capturing a pretty broad audience of people now with all of the technology they've got, with obviously databases and things like that, and all of the buyers advocates that there are out there to contact.
Well, I think name the area that this is predominantly happening.
Well, this is definitely happening down in Bayside, basically, deep Bayside, down to Frankston, like sort of nearing to the Mornington Peninsula, where they are holding off market inspections for a property that's a good property, good house, nothing wrong with the property. And they're just contacting, 15, 20 people, and they'll get 5 or 6 people coming to the open home, and the property's then being sold that night with multiple offers on the table, unconditional. Client never seen, but often because it's interstate investors. But yeah, I mean, they've also received, I looked at one yesterday for a client. I was the first one through the open, through the property. First open is tomorrow, and he already has 2 offers on the property. And I said, so have they seen it? No, they haven't. Oh, who is it? Advocates. So
that's wild behaviour.
And that's just on
Number
a little
one question,
place.
everyone, when you're interviewing your advocate, do they physically themselves walk through? Because I was chatting, we've been at a few conferences of late from the Real Estate Buyers Advocate Association, which we're a member of, and Real Estate Institute of Victoria, again a member of. But I was speaking to an advocate and he's like, I buy interstate. And I was like, oh yeah, so you fly? He's like, I've got people on the ground. I'm like, okay, so they're all licensed estate agents? Are they agents, reps? How long have they been working with your business? Are they ex-selling agents, property managers? Are they your cousin that's a tradie that's got some spare time? Is it, your friend of your friend who's just come off mat leave? Like, who is it inspecting this property? Because I think you and I walking through a property, we see things very differently to the average Joe walking through the property.
Yeah, exactly.
So okay, cool, you're not flying and you're not seeing it. You've got someone from your business seeing it. Who are they?
Yeah.
What's their credentials?
Yeah, exactly. What are they looking for? And what's the goal in the inspection? Is it to tick the box or just very rogue. But this is what happens with industries when they're fast growing, and then in come the rule makers, and I think that's coming for the industry, which is going to be really good. Hopefully,
really good.
Yeah, hopefully they're going to come sooner than later, and start to realise that this is a big business industry now, buyer advocacy, and there needs to be regulations in place. Like there's people who have no industry experience, who aren't physically inspecting property, who are advising people to buy things for $1 million or from $1.5 million as an investment. I mean, that
stresses me out.
it just feels like financial planners from before. You know,
rogue.
It's just rogue behaviour.
We should definitely talk about rogue agent activities, actually.
I feel like that might be in the plan on the cards.
Oh, really? No. That will be an episode to listen to. No, I agree. It's financial planning back in the day, and there needs to be more rules and regulations because buying property sight unseen is absolutely ridiculous. No one should do it. They need an expert looking at the property if they're not physically walking through it themselves. And I've got some interstate investors that I've said, fly down and walk through we've got to be careful because, Melbourne is a fast-paced market, so sometimes we don't have loads of time. But that's definitely an option.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you've got time, we definitely recommend that they fly down and come and have a look. It's in these areas. I mean, it's like I say, I was the first person to physically inspect a property yesterday and he has 2 offers on it. What?
Yeah.
And the first open is tomorrow. And so now it's calling all offers by 6 p.m. tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
No worries. That seems crazy, but sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also what's interesting is people knowing more about this clause in our act around material facts, and that's with the vendor and the agent having to be open and honest about anything that they know about the property that might change the outcome of the decision to purchase that property for the buyer and if that's disclosed or not. So I think that that's going to be a really interesting progression in our industry because there's so many properties at the moment that I walk through and they have had recent renovations and none of it's gone through council, and that typically does need to go through council and they need, the reports in the contract. So I think that's also, making people a little bit more accountable when they sell their property to disclose things.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not foolproof in terms of it's not as good as walking through.
Once again relying on them being honest about it, which, as we know, I mean, even with selling agents, oh, don't tell me what you really want. Let me just maximize. Let me just get there. Let's see what the market response is first. Because if they know what the vendor wants, then they're going to have to advertise it with that figure in mind. And similar, don't tell me about it,
Oh,
if I know about it, I've got to
tell. Back in the day, 15 years ago, I was told to sort of, not delve too much into why they're leaving because, is it because of the crackheads next door? Don't ask, don't tell. Move on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the less you know about that, the better. I mean, how often a buyer will ask an agent, like, why are the vendors moving? I mean, pick a response from the bag of tricks. They're relocating.
Separately.
What does that mean, relocating?
To different houses and cities, and they hate each other and they're getting a divorce and they never want to speak to each other again.
Yeah. Well, the house is slowly falling apart.
Yes.
And it's a money pit.
Yes.
And they've got to get out before the back half falls down.
Yeah.
But come in.
Yeah.
They're relocating.
Mind you, I do think that is happening a whole lot less because Melbourne is like 2 degrees of separation. So, I mean, my cousin who I'm helping buy at the moment, she's so funny. She researches every single vendor on every contract and knows their brother, sister, mother, cousin.
Really?
And I love it. I love the investigative skills, but it's so hilarious because I'm like, they can't pull the wool over these women's. She'll know exactly why they're selling. So don't pick a response out of the
Don't get your bag of tricks out,
Yeah, or else you'll be in deep trouble with this one. I think that's probably becoming less of a thing where they just make up some lie. But they certainly don't want to disclose, actually, the vendors are selling because they're divorcing, and because immediately everyone thinks they must sell then.
Yes.
Because he's going to get a huge discount and be such a bargain.
Oh,
when
I cannot when did I last see a bargain? Oh, that one down here.
Oh, yeah. But that's, yes, very few and far between. Actually, I feel like I've really bought a bargain in recent months for clients, and I think we should talk through that case study in this season because just how it all played out, I think we just got such a good
Which one?
win. One that I bought in Thornbury. So I reckon let's talk about it on another episode because it just played out really well for my clients. We weren't actually intending for it to go this way, but I think it naturally just played really well in our favour. Anyway, we can discuss more at another time.
So if you are in a position where you will be buying sight unseen, so you're an interstate investor and you are engaging an advocate who's working on your behalf to buy a property sight unseen, you will not be seeing it. I think that there is still a place for that scenario, and that's obviously what we're talking about that we do for our clients. So if you are that investor, I mean, what are the things that they need to be making sure they're covering off before they go through that process?
Well, I think making sure they ask the right questions of the advocate that's going to be supporting them through the process and making sure that that advocate actually physically inspects the property and who is that advocate, do they have the credentials, and also asking them what due diligence and what reporting they can expect to see on that property. I also think another good one is to understand which building and pest inspectors they work with because I've seen some reports that are like 2 pages with about 2 photos.
Yeah.
So I think that, we've got really comprehensive reporting and then coupled with a building and pest inspector that we work with closely that they do really comprehensive reporting as well. We've just started investigating drone uses of drones for building and pest inspectors and those long cameras that can go, through tight little areas and things.
Yeah.
Because I think, asking those sort of questions of your building and pest inspector, even, will you on-sell the report? I think that's an important one. But
exactly.
Just because if they do, then that will ruin your advantage. But those are probably why. What would you?
Well, I think also just getting something back from the advocate who's inspecting on your behalf, like getting them to send you a 3D walkthrough, like an actual walkthrough video on top of, so you've got that saved, you've got that you can always go back to, you've got that for a pre-settlement inspection that you probably also won't be present for, you've got this that video evidence that you can go back to and say, that hole in the wall wasn't there because here's the video evidence from prior to signing the contract, here's the date, time, stamp. Getting that done for sure and having that in the bank, and then probably getting them to go back for their second inspection and FaceTiming you through the property and talking you through some of maybe the little issues that they picked up on inspection and making sure you're comfortable with them and just really sort of taking it seriously. Don't take it too lightly. It's a big investment, and if you get it wrong, it can be financially, damaging. So
absolutely.
You want to make sure you've got it right. So I just think, making sure you're ticking all those boxes. Obviously, contract review, strata review, all of those things is all sort of goes part and parcel for buying property in general. But getting that building and pest inspection really tight in, high level of detail and making sure your advocate is not only physically inspecting it on your behalf, but giving you the walkthrough video and the FaceTime inspection just so that you feel confident.
Absolutely. Because, buying from afar, I would be pretty stressed, but so I'm impressed when people commit to it.
I know. And it can be reckless to do that, to buy from afar, but if you've got the right team,
it can be very beneficial.
Yeah.
Come off, pay dividends.
Yes, exactly right.
So I think the key takeaway there is then you can buy sight unseen, but just make sure you have the right team and the right information at your fingertips to support that decision.
Exactly. Yeah. So
cool.
F, marry, kill. Buying sight unseen.
Ugh.
If you had to buy a property without physically inspecting it for yourself, and let's say no one's inspecting it. So you're going rogue, you're buying sight unseen.
Okay.
You're going based on the advertising material and the agent.
Okay.
And we're trusting the agent. The agent's giving you the information, but you're buying sight unseen. An apartment.
Okay.
An inner city apartment. An inner city unrenovated period home.
Okay.
Or like a rural destination home.
Wow. Okay. Marrying rural.
Why? How?
Because I just feel like there's probably less overlooking problems that I can't see. I can do a lot of research off the desktop with that. And a lot of my decision will come down to the contract and the zoning.
Yeah.
Am I really buying the house? Probably yes, to a certain degree. But that And then I'm effing the period home. I know, rogue. But I just feel like I'll be able to get a bit more information again on the internet of that house, where with an apartment, Google can't get inside that apartment to show me what you can see out windows.
In the hallways.
Yeah.
The hallways.
The hallways.
The neighbours above,
yes.
beside, below.
Like, where is the garbage chute? What does the car park look like?
What does the car park look like? What does the bin area look like?
How many floors down am I driving to the car park or up to the car park? Like, I had a friend that was just renting in Docklands. She went up like 10 levels to get to a car park every day. Because the building was like 300 units or something.
Jesus.
It was a nightmare.
Christ.
You know, like all these things you can't really check. And the agent, are they going to drive around the 7, floors?
No, they'll be like, I think it's on the 2nd level.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, it's on the 10th.
Yeah. Or maybe actually you could see a lot of this on the plan of subdivision.
I was going to say you can see that on the plan. But yeah, we know where you're going. I mean, I just recently was buying an apartment for an owner-occupier client, and I think it's very important to look at all communal areas because you're not just buying the apartment, you're buying in the building.
Absolutely.
So you're an owner in the building and you own some of the building.
You want to know how people respect the communal 100%, areas.
Because it gives you an insight into whether your neighbours give a shit.
And so then I'm obviously killing the apartment. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm the same. I think everyone would be the same.
Really? Are we aligned on all of it?
Yeah.
We love that.
Because I can't kill both. If I could kill two, I would also kill the house, the unrenovated house, just because, I mean, the thing about renovating a period home is, can I keep any level of the structure? And I need to see that.
Yeah.
I can't, like, how can I know unless I see it? Like, if none of the structure is able to be kept, that doubles your renovation cost.
Yeah.
So maybe it's no longer in the budget and it will be a money pit. So, yeah. Anyway,
don't buy sight unseen.
I wouldn't.
No.
I wouldn't.
Key takeaway.
Yeah, that's the takeaway. Okay. Bye.
Thanks for listening.